Or they say to us that you're not taken from so-and-so because Shaykh Rabee hasn't praised him. Okay, have they got any specific person in mind when they say that, or
it's just like
no? Well, we take knowledge from whoever we know to be upon the Sunnah. That's the asl, that's the basis. From all of the narrations of the Salaf, they mention the names of the scholars historically speaking. Imam Ahmad, Al-Awza'i, Al-Thawri, and so in every age and era, it's possible to know who is upon the way of the Salaf because of what they say and what they write and what they do. And we have that furqan, we have that criterion in the way of the Salaf. So, who we follow or we take knowledge from he whom we know to be upon the Sunnah. And this is how it's always been, ever from the time of the fitna of Uthman radiyallahu anhu. Because before the fitna of Uthman radiyallahu anhu, then everyone was taken at face value. We take the narration because trustworthiness was present, and people didn't have like a side to take in anything. That wasn't present, right? So no one had like an ulterior motive in narrating something or not narrating something or twisting or lying. There wasn't anything like that. But after the fitna of Uthman, this is when the people began to ask about, like the chain of narration and everything. Well, who did you take this from? And name as your men and whatever, right? So this is because the circumstances demand that we are now careful with respect to whom we take our knowledge from, right? And this itself is something that the Messenger of Allah himself notified his ummah of, that there's going to, he mentioned the Khawarij, that they will recite the Quran, it will not go beyond their throats. He mentioned the Qadariyah, do not visit them when they fall sick and do not pray of them when they die. He mentioned people who at the end of time they will bring a hadith that you've never heard of, neither you nor your forefathers. So beware of them, right? All of these warnings are present in the prophetic texts. No prophet was sent before me except that he had Hawariyun and Ansar. And after them there will come a people who will, they will give testimony when they're not asked to do so, and they will, there's certain traits that are mentioned, right? So whoever makes jihad against them with the hand is a believer, with the tongue is a believer, and then there's a hadith like this, right? We are just simply act upon these hadiths. That's all that we're doing. We are following the guidance of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Allah gave him knowledge as to what is going to befall this ummah, in the same way that it befell the Jews and befell the Christians and other nations, right? And so the Messenger is from that knowledge that Allah gave him, he is giving a forewarning to his ummah that when this happens, and it will happen, this is how you need to behave and what you need to do, right? So what we are doing here by not taking knowledge except from the one whom we know to be upon the Sunnah, through his speech, through his writing, through his behavior, through his allegiances, right? Through his friendship, through the positions that he holds, right? We are doing nothing but what the Messenger of Allah told us to do, right? So we are not following, we haven't made Shaykh Rabee to be the criterion. We made the Quran and the Sunnah and Ijma' and the way of the Salaf to be the criterion. But if there comes a scholar, and many scholars have come in the past, like Imam Ahmad, Allah made him a mihna or a trial because he stood up for the truth, right? Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah stood up for the truth. Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn al-Wahhab stood up for the truth. There are scholars that Allah erects and establishes, and they speak the truth. We follow them because they speak the truth, not because of their personality of the person. We follow because they brought the evidence in the issues in which they spoke about, right? So yes, against the people of Hizbiyah, the Ikhwanis and all the people who claim to be Salafi, and they wear the gown of Salafi, but they bring all these false, futile principles. Yes, Shaykh Rabee has done a tremendous service to the Ummah in exposing these people. and he speaks with evidence, and we take his advice, and but it's not the case that we don't take from people just because Shaykh Rabee. No, it's because the situation is that we do not take knowledge from anyone until and unless we know him to be a person of the Sunnah who combines all of the traits of the Sunnah, right? And is known for it. That's who we take knowledge from. So, we're just being careful in our religion. So why are you blaming us for that? And but the reason why, see, they pick on certain names because these names, Shaykh Rabee, for example, Shaykh Muhammad Aman al-Jami, rahimahullah, they played a tremendous role in exposing some of these deviants like the Sururiyya, Qutbiyya. And so now, out of resentment and hatred, they come out with these types of statements. Oh, no one's a scholar until Shaykh Rabee says so to you people, whatever.